Hello and welcome back to Speak Healthy. Today, we're going to explore the dreaded disease of dementia and the top 10 foods that can increase your chances to develop it. Dementia, a progressive neurological disorder characterized by cognitive decline, affects millions worldwide. As the population ages, its prevalence is increasing at an alarming rate. While genetics play a role, lifestyle factors, particularly diet, have a significant impact on the progression and prevention of dementia. This video explores the top 10 foods that contribute to dementia and explains the underlying mechanisms that drive this progression. Now, if it's your first time here, please be sure to subscribe to Speak Healthy for more content like this to improve your overall health and well-being. Energy and oxygen, the brain's lifeline. The brain, though only 2% of body weight, consumes over 20% of the body's energy. It requires a continuous supply of fuel, carbohydrates and ketones, and oxygen. This energy production occurs primarily in the mitochondria, the cell's powerhouse. However, the brain also needs regular stimulation to remain functional. Just as muscles atrophy from disuse, the brain degenerates without adequate stimulation, underscoring the importance of mental and physical activities in maintaining cognitive health. Energy is crucial for the brain's function because it powers the various processes needed for communication between neurons. The brain utilizes glucose as its primary source of energy, but it can also use ketones derived from fats when glucose levels are low. This adaptability ensures that the brain can function even during periods of fasting or low carbohydrate intake. Oxygen is equally important because it is essential for oxidative phosphorylation, the process by which cells generate ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the energy currency of the cell. Genetics and epigenetics, the influence beyond DNA. While our genetic makeup, or genome, is inherited and unchangeable, gene expression can be influenced by lifestyle factors, a field known as epigenetics. This means that even though we inherit certain genes, whether these genes are expressed can be influenced by our environment and behaviors. For instance, regular exercise and mental stimulation can positively affect gene expression, potentially mitigating the risk of dementia despite genetic predispositions. Epigenetics plays a pivotal role in determining how genes associated with brain health are turned on or off. Factors such as diet, physical activity, and stress can influence epigenetic markers that control gene expression. For example, a diet high in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids can promote the expression of genes involved in reducing inflammation and protecting neurons. Conversely, a diet high in processed foods and sugars can lead to the activation of genes associated with inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which are detrimental to brain health. Inflammation, the silent threat. Chronic low-grade inflammation is a significant biochemical driver of dementia. It is fueled by oxidative stress, environmental toxins, food allergies, and gut dysbiosis. Oxidative stress occurs when there is an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants in the body. Environmental toxins, including pollution and food additives, further exacerbate this stress. Food allergies and gut dysbiosis, an imbalance of gut bacteria, can lead to systemic inflammation, affecting the brain and accelerating cognitive decline. Inflammation is the body's response to injury or infection, and while it is a necessary part of healing, chronic inflammation can cause extensive damage over time. In the brain, chronic inflammation can lead to the accumulation of amyloid plaques and tau tangles, both of which are characteristic features of Alzheimer's disease, a common form of dementia. Inflammation also disrupts the blood-brain barrier, allowing harmful substances to enter the brain and cause further damage. Top 10 foods contributing to dementia. Excess alcohol. Alcohol is a neurotoxin, directly damaging brain cells. Excessive consumption leads to leaky gut, food allergies, inflammation, and fatty liver, which in turn causes insulin resistance, another driver of inflammation. Moderate consumption, such as a glass of wine a few times a week, may have some benefits, but chronic overconsumption is detrimental. Chronic alcohol consumption can lead to brain shrinkage, particularly in the frontal lobes, which are responsible for higher cognitive functions such as decision-making, problem-solving, and controlling behavior. Alcohol also impairs the brain's ability to produce neurotransmitters, which are essential for communication between neurons. Over time, these effects can significantly impair cognitive function and increase the risk of developing dementia. Refined carbs. Refined carbohydrates, including added sugars and processed grains, rapidly raise blood glucose levels. This leads to insulin resistance, which has a strong connection to dementia, sometimes referred to as type 3 diabetes. The brain can use ketones as an alternative fuel, but excess glucose prevents the production of ketones, starving the brain of necessary energy. High intake of refined carbs leads to frequent spikes in blood sugar levels, which triggers the release of insulin. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, where cells become less responsive to insulin, and glucose cannot enter the cells efficiently. This results in high blood sugar levels and can lead to the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which cause inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain, contributing to cognitive decline. Sugar, particularly fructose, is highly addictive and contributes to fatty liver and dysbiosis. High sugar intake leads to insulin resistance, which impairs glucose uptake by brain cells, effectively starving the brain. Natural sugars in fruits are less harmful, but concentrated forms like fruit juices and dried fruits should be consumed in moderation. Excessive sugar consumption can lead to the development of metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Metabolic syndrome is associated with increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Furthermore, sugar can disrupt the balance of gut bacteria, leading to an overgrowth of harmful bacteria and a reduction in beneficial bacteria. This imbalance can cause leaky gut and systemic inflammation, which negatively impacts brain health. Fish. While fish are a good source of omega-3 fatty acids, essential for brain health, they can also contain harmful levels of mercury, a neurotoxin. Large predatory fish like tuna and swordfish are particularly high in mercury. Safer options include small fish like sardines and mackerel, which have lower mercury levels. Mercury exposure is linked to neurological and developmental damage. In the brain, mercury can interfere with the production and function of neurotransmitters, leading to cognitive deficits and an increased risk of dementia. It is important to choose fish that are low in mercury and to limit consumption of high mercury fish to reduce the risk of mercury toxicity. Dirty dozen. Certain fruits and vegetables, known as the dirty dozen, are heavily treated with pesticides, which are toxic to the brain. This list includes strawberries, apples, grapes, and spinach. Organic options are preferable to avoid these harmful chemicals. Pesticides contain chemicals that can disrupt the endocrine system and interfere with the function of neurotransmitters in the brain. Long-term exposure to pesticides has been associated with an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Choosing organic produce or thoroughly washing and peeling conventionally grown produce can help reduce pesticide exposure. Artificial sweeteners. Aspartame and sucralose, common artificial sweeteners, are neurotoxic and disrupt gut bacteria, leading to inflammation and leaky gut. Although marketed as healthier alternatives to sugar, they can increase cravings and have other adverse health effects. Natural sweeteners like stevia and monk fruit are better alternatives, but should still be consumed in moderation. Artificial sweeteners can alter the composition of gut microbiota, leading to dysbiosis and increased intestinal permeability, leaky gut. This can trigger systemic inflammation and contribute to the development of insulin resistance and metabolic disorders, both of which are risk factors for dementia. Additionally, some studies have suggested that artificial sweeteners may interfere with the brain's reward system, leading to increased appetite and cravings for sugary foods. Bad fats, damaged fats, particularly trans fats and processed vegetable oils, cause inflammation and oxidative stress. These fats are found in many processed and fried foods. Instead, healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, and olive oil are preferable. Trans fats, which are created through the hydrogenation of vegetable oils, have been linked to increased inflammation and oxidative stress. These fats can also interfere with the function of cell membranes and disrupt the balance of essential fatty acids in the brain. Consuming healthy fats, such as omega-3 fatty acids found in fish, flax seeds, and walnuts, can help reduce inflammation and support brain health. Lectins, found in nightshades, such as tomatoes and potatoes and grains, can cause food sensitivities and leaky gut. While not inherently harmful, those with weakened gut health should be cautious. Improving gut health can mitigate the negative effects of lectins. Lectins are a type of protein that can bind to carbohydrates and interfere with the absorption of nutrients in the gut. In some individuals, lectins can cause gastrointestinal distress and contribute to the development of leaky gut syndrome. This condition allows undigested food particles and toxins to enter the bloodstream, triggering an immune response and causing systemic inflammation. For individuals with sensitivities, reducing or eliminating high lectin foods may improve gut health and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Excess caffeine. Moderate caffeine consumption can enhance focus and energy, but excessive intake can disrupt sleep and increase stress hormones, exacerbating cognitive decline. Limiting caffeine to moderate levels, such as 2 cups of coffee per day, is advisable. Caffeine stimulates the central nervous system and increases the production of stress hormones, such as cortisol, while moderate caffeine intake can improve alertness and cognitive performance. Excessive consumption can lead to anxiety, insomnia, and increased stress levels. Chronic stress and poor sleep quality are both associated with cognitive decline and an increased risk of dementia. To support brain health, it is important to consume caffeine in moderation and prioritize good sleep hygiene. Food additives, artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives, commonly found in processed foods, are harmful to brain health. These additives make food unappealing to other living organisms, raising the question of their suitability for human consumption. Natural, whole foods are a better choice for maintaining cognitive health. Food additives are used to enhance the appearance, flavor, and shelf life of processed foods. However, many of these additives have been linked to adverse health effects, including neurotoxicity. For example, some artificial colors and preservatives have been associated with hyperactivity and behavioral issues in children. To minimize exposure to harmful additives, it is best to choose whole, unprocessed foods and read labels carefully to avoid products with artificial ingredients. And that wraps up our list for dementia-causing foods. We all definitely have to be mindful of what kind of food we put into our bodies. If you liked today's video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to Speak Healthy for more content like this. Thanks for stopping by.